I'm not making any money talking these days. Good Christ, 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 Christ. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. Still am. I guess I am a decent guy because I'm a fucking jerk. And I'm not a jerk. Apparently I'm a dick. I'm not an awful guy, but I've done so much ridiculous stuff. Man, I'm an awful guy. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast, or as they call it in Japan, Super Angry Gaijin Happy Good Time Yelling Hour. I don't know if you knew that. Super Angry Gaijin Happy Good Time Yelling Hour. Yeah. It was Super Angry Gaijin Happy Good Time Punching Hour. But then I said, well, I don't really punch anybody during the show. And they bowed 9 times and left. So they went ahead and changed it to Super Angry Gaijin Happy Good Time Yelling Hour. And now I keep getting royalties. So I'm very excited. It's good to be here. And usually that's a crutch again. We all know. Usually that's what I say when I have nothing to say. But I've got plenty to say today, folks. That's a lie. Let me do this real quick. Let me go ahead and hey, did you hear last week's show? I got emails from people, and people writing on my wall at Facebook, and people going to MySpace and sending me personal messages. And by personal messages, I mean messages addressed to me saying, "What is wrong with you?" The prevailing theme after last week's show was, "Be nice to Lily." And I understand that. I understand your feelings, and I understand that you would think to yourselves, "Hey, I can't believe he's doing this." But I listened back to it, and I got to admit, it didn't seem that bad. That is a lie. It was pretty brutal. I mean, she just and for her to sit there and take a blow drying like that was admirable. I'm not going to lie to you. Although that speaks for her level of involvement at this point, where she just kind of literally mentally washed her hands and put it on laughing autopilot, and then tried to figure out what she was going to put in her empty apartment. And let me tell you something, folks. She figured out what to put in her empty apartment. I am in that apartment now, and now we were in the common area last week, and by common area I mean it's pedantic. It's peasants are there, but I mean now we're in the royalty area. I'm in Lily's bedroom, which technically isn't really a bedroom, so much as it is a Box Brothers storage space. This is the most ridiculous. I don't know what is this stuff? What could this possibly, this is just boxes of dildos and hope. I mean, literally, I don't know. I'm not kidding you. I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to say there's at least 35 boxes in here.
62.
There's 62 boxes in here. And I mean, again, literally, here's my favorite part. All right, some of them do have writing on them. Here's a box. What's in here? Crafts, pink phone, scrapbooks, prop guns. And this box is as big as the back seat of my car. She has a box, a huge box filled with a pink phone and prop guns. I mean, who has that many prop guns? That's crazy. And then, all right, here's all right, and just underneath it, sewing machine crafts. Right next to it, a box just as big as the prop guns box. Purses / boxing gloves. I don't know. I mean, it's just... Oh, and then there's one that says office, which is, I got to be honest, that's weird because I keep my prop guns and my boxing gloves in my office. So I don't know. I would be confused by the labeling system at this point. What does that mean?
4.5 cubic square feet.
All right, that's 4.5 cubic square feet of boxing gloves.
Nothing but hats and robes.
Hats and robes. And a huge box. I mean, a huge box of hats and robes. And then there's like an antique lamp. This is like, it's like doing the show from Antiques Roadshow. That's where I'm broadcasting. I'm waiting for an English guy to come in here and say, "I'll give you $5,000 for the whole lot." I mean, because it is, there's Christmas lights, and I get it. It's that thing where you move out, where you're like your whole life becomes delineated. You're like, all right, we got to separate all of our shit. All right, let me throw all my prop guns and my boxing gloves in here, and you keep all of your chocolate and pictures. You know what I mean? It's just. And then you wind up. I can only imagine that the place she left has to be this cavernous, empty space. I mean, because I used to hang out. I mean, that's where we recorded, and I told you there was shit all over the place. I didn't realize it was all hers. I mean, I didn't know. I thought her husband owned some of it, but apparently not. I mean, this is a retarded. She had an airbed in here last week. And it's actually standing on its side because there's no room for it. Like, I don't know where she sleeps. She must sleep standing up like Grandpa Munster. I mean, I don't know. And which is fitting because I think she has his coffin in here somewhere. So I think that's how I didn't even turn around. I turn around here and I've got, it's just a crate of shoes, 2 crates of shoes. There's the 5-foot vinyl boots. Oh, my word. This is insane. All right, folks. You know what? We're having a sale. Everything must go. Come on down to Lily's Lily's Happy Good Time Fun Shack, and we'll be selling everything in the next hour. So please come down here and pick up. I honestly wish I could open these boxes and just reach in and pull out random shit and just describe it. I mean, it is crazy. We are at the Antiques Roadshow. You're gonna do it? Don't knock. She almost knocked over a laptop to open a box of something. All right, this is fun. We're going to go in. We're playing a game here, folks. She's going to reach in. She's not even going to look. She's going to reach in and pull something out of the box. Hold on. She's not going to. Hold on. She's elbow deep into a Box Brothers book. Here's a pile of random purchased music. Oh, Jesus Christ. Knott's Berry Farm 2007. I can imagine what that is. Are you having you and your husband having sex on a roller coaster somewhere? Oh, here's Princess Farhana's DVD, Boom Boom, Hot Burlesque Moves for Cool Chicks, featuring Miss Indigo Blue and Penny Star Jr. All right. Sure, there's Gold LeMay cowboy boots. Why wouldn't those be here? And one more, I'll let you reach in for one more thing. Oh, my God. That looks like the worst magic trick ever. All right. That's a wig? All right, it's a red tinsel wig. I thought it was pom-poms. It looks like pom-poms that you would shake around.
My life sucks.
I can't believe you packed red tinsel wig. Like you were at your house and went, you're the jerk. That's who you are. You're like, I'll be fine as long as I have this DVD of me at Knott's Berry Farm in 2007 and a red tinsel wig. That's all I need.
And this lamp.
All I need is this lamp and this old-time radio and this red tinsel wig and this Gold LeMay cowboy boot. That's all I need. I'll be fine as long as I can get a box of prop guns and this box of boxing gloves and a red tinsel wig. That's all I need. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That whole be nice to Lily thing.
Well, I'm still being nice to you now. I'm astonished that because I'm worried that you ever hear those stories about old people who are pack rats? And they set up these elaborate traps at their front door because they're all weird, and they set up like piles of newspapers, and they fall on them and trap them till they die. That's going to happen in here. That's what's going to happen in this room right now. We're in the middle. It's all just tottering. It's great. There's a great line from the young ones where Neil has to make breakfast, but the lentils are in the cabinet behind a teetering mound of crockery. And that's what I think of when I'm in this room, a teetering mound of crockery, because it is all going to fucking come down. I mean, it is going to be fucking Pompeii in here soon enough. I'm going to get, but luckily these are boxes of feathers, so none of us are going to get hurt. We'll be able to claw our way out of here. And perhaps we could, we'll just yell for the clown, and then he'll squeak in and drag us out of here. I got to tell you, folks, he got a bad rap, the clown. I mean, I was furious, and I mean, I still am because I'm uncomfortable and weird, and I'm a weird dude. We know this, but I got to be honest. This clown he's a nice guy. Like, he joined us after last week's show. He joined us to eat, which I don't want to spend any fucking time with the clown. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and again, he is a nice guy. I've learned he's a nice guy by these times that we've spent together. And that's it was funny. Like I wanted to hash things out with him, but I didn't want to do it like in a friend basis. So I hired him. He came over to the house and he danced around and made balloon animals, and then I told him I was sorry. So that was great. He actually made a balloon animal of me with a furrowed brow, enraged, and handed it to me, like my face. Yay! Thank you. But I honestly, he could not be nicer or more of a pleasant guy. which is weird because you would think clowns are all boozing and soused and angry. But what does he got to be angry about? He's got a brand new burlesque dancer to bounce around on here at his house. I mean, he's got to be thrilled. He's got somebody to honk his horn all day. He's fantastic. This clown. He's so happy. But he could not be nicer or more accommodating. And he also thinks I'm hilarious, which it was funny because Lily said that last week in the show, and then I was like, he did. I mean, until he hears this.
No, he still thinks you're funny.
Well, once we went to dinner, I told him because I wasn't fucking around. We were sitting down at this Mexican joint that she likes, and he came and joined us and started eating all the leftovers on our plates, which was just disconcerting. It's like, clown, honestly. And here's another thing about the clown. I'll tell you. I can make fun of the clown all I want, and make fun of his car with its picture on it. This clown is rich. Like, he came to join us for dinner. As we were sitting there, he booked 3 gigs. Granted, they're in a yard somewhere, which I mean, I don't think is an optimum place to be performing. Honestly, I don't want any of my gigs to wind up with me with frosting on my pants. I mean, but for him, it's a gold mine. It's a goddamn gold mine. And I'm sure he's paid well because anytime you're at some venue where you are constantly under the threat of wasp attack, I would assume that you would be well compensated for your time. But he's booking gigs like where he's with us and the phone is ringing. And he's booking gigs as we're sitting there. I don't know. I didn't know there were this many fucking gigs for a clown ever. I might have to become an angry clown. Like I might have to just suit up in some crazy outfit and like paint a frowny face on me and just show up and be like, yeah, fuck you. What do you want? Seriously, a balloon animal? And I'll be like Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers, but with clown makeup on. And also no talent for making balloon animals. Like I'll have no concept of how to do it. Yeah, just unbelievable. So the clown is really nice. He's a nice guy. I saw him today, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And that was fine. But
You need to put your face on the side of the car.
my face on my car, Funny Mike. No, it's funny. My friend Mike Siegel is Funny Mike. If you go to funnymike.com, that's Mike Siegel.
And you need to be angrymike.com on the side
But
of your car.
let me tell you this, Funny Mike Siegel, he needs to put his face on the side of his car because he is incredibly hot. I mean, there would be accidents, people like hitting the brakes and slowing down. Is that Funny Mike? Holy God, what's happening over there? Because he just, although he would have to be careful because if he took a left-hand turn too sharply, his cheekbones would like cut a scratch into the car that in the opposing lane because that's a good-looking fella. Oh my word. And it's like I hate to say this, it's almost like breathtaking. I mean, it's like weird when you just see him, you're just like, oh, whoa. And this is funny. I found out my friend Mex and his wife watch Mike on TV. They watch the shows like What You Get for the Money and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's my friend Mike. And Mex was just like, oh, it's hilarious. But Kristen's just like, you know him? Like yeah, I know him. I play poker with him and stuff. He's a nice guy. I play poker with. That's my go-to reference for Mike. I've known Mike for years. Shut up. All right, so. The bottom line is the clown joins us last week, and I said to him, I had to. I go, look, I got to tell you something. You listen to the show? And he goes, well, how did it go today? And I go, well, I'm going to tell you, you're going to listen to it next week, and Lily thinks you're going to want to fight me. So let's just get this out of the way right now. I mean, if we're going to fight, let's fight now here in the Mexican joint, and because I'm going to be coming to your house every fucking Wednesday for the next. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe I won't be coming to your house for the next fucking weeks. Maybe I'm just getting eliminated because the clown puts his big foot down. He just says, I don't think so. And also it's funny, I mentioned the young ones and I said the teetering mound of crockery. Last week when I was bitching, I said I was in the rickety chair, also from the young ones. Oh, because Rick did not want to sit in the rickety chair. I listened back to the show and I'm pissed that I didn't say it because I mean I meant to, but at that point we were riding downhill on a sled of rage, so there was no way for me to backtrack and be funny. I was much more concerned with the stream of invective that would come out of my mouth, and as I verbally battered my producer and good friend. I'm an idiot. But I guess we're fine. Everything's fine. Although, unless this might be an elaborate ruse where I'm going to be crushed under boxes. Like she may have done this on purpose. Like it'll be she's like Willard with rats, but the rats are boxes. So she's gonna get up to leave, and she's gonna be like, oh, you know what, Michael, and she's gonna flip a switch, and then everything's gonna topple on top of me. And then you know what, which is okay as long as she lets the recording run. I just want to make sure that my final thoughts are recorded for posterity, folks, because then maybe, just maybe, I will rise above 50 in the iTunes Comedy Top 100. my dying podcast, my death cast. I talked about that in another show where I was saying that someone should kill themselves at the end of their podcast. It would be great. I'm very familiar with all the old shows, folks, because I will tell you why. Because now, if you go to my website, if you go to the store page, you are able to purchase year one of the 40-Year-Old Boy. Yes, it is a package deal where it's I'm not selling them individually. I'm not selling individual episodes. That would turn into a circus. And I think it was a body of work, folks. I think it was. How can you break it up? Who's to say that me talking about going to a shooting range with Eric is any better than me talking about Elvis's monkey throwing shit on Red West? Seriously. I think you need all of it as a body of work so you can go ahead and refresh yourself with all of the genius of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. Hearing one episode out of context, because I tell you what, if you did that, you have no idea what I mean by Charlie Hyde or Red West getting shit thrown on him by a monkey. You're like, what the fuck? When was that? It was in episode 45, friends. Which is a king, a crown, and a royal family. So go ahead and get the set. Buy them all, folks. Buy the entire year, which is what it is. It's 52 episodes of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast, and it is a bonus package. And what does a bonus package mean? Well, I'll tell you. This is awful. You know who I am? I'm the ShamWow guy now. I'm Vince. Right down to the fucking headset and punching a hooker. I've never punched a hooker, folks. Punched, never. Vince, what are you doing? What is he doing? He's famous, like he's rich, and it's funny because he's on Conan was showing him all the time, and Letterman talks about him. He was right about to break out, like where I'm sure they would have him on, and he would start being like he would be silly and kind of a punchline, but he'd still be making even more money, and then he'd be linguini martini bikining his way to the fucking beach. Instead, he brings home this chick, and then he gives her $1,000 for sex. Here's how I even found out about it. Okay, I found out about it a week before it was news, I think, or like 3 days before it was news. I got an email, and all it said in the header of the email was, "Your hero has fallen." And I'm like, well, I don't know what that could be. So I click through, and it's like, he had it all. What happened? And it's just a link to the story at like a local paper. So I look, and it's Vince in Florida. And the mugshot, how bad is that mugshot? But you know what? As bad as his mugshot is bad because it's like he was in the fight with the hooker and she bit his tongue. First of all, what are you doing with your tongue in a hooker's mouth? I mean, if you're with a hooker, your tongue should not be involved other than to negotiate the price. And then your mouth should stay fucking closed the rest of the time, unless you want to call her the name of a girl you hated in high school, and while you're hate fucking her. You know what I mean? That's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's the only way your mouth should ever be involved with a hooker. You should negotiate the price and then call her filthy, horrible names mixed in with something like Michelle. You know what I mean? So, I don't know who Michelle is. I'm not... Any Michelle who hears this, please, it has nothing to do with you. So... you know what? If you really want to extrapolate it, Michelle, that could be just the female version of Michael, and that's who I fucking hate. But Vince, what are you doing making out with a hooker? It's the craziest thing. And he met her at a strip club, and then $1,000 for straight sex. Dude, you know what? Less fucking French kissing and more negotiating with that tongue, because $1,000 seems really fucking high. I don't care what kind of tricks this chick was doing at the fucking strip club. And then, as bad as his mugshot is, as bad as Vince looks at his mugshot, and he looks fucking terrible because he got that weird Bell's palsy. The funniest thing would have been if he had the headset on in the mugshot. If he would have had the headset on and he's just like making a sad face. And how unfortunate is it for him that he endorses a product called the Slap Chop, and then he winds up in a fucking dust up where he punches a hooker in the face several times, fractures her eye socket. Like Vince went off. I mean, he's not even fucking around. He blasted this hooker in the face because she's biting his tongue. I mean, it's like something out of a Nightmare on Elm Street movie where she's biting his tongue and won't let it go, and he just started punching her. Ah, that sounds like a really great Friday night, doesn't it? You pay $1,000 to a chick and then punch her in the face and break her eye socket? Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, they love his nuts. Oh, Vincent. So I don't get it. And then, but as bad as his mugshot looks, and it does look bad, how bad does her mugshot look? because her mugshot only looks bad, really bad in context. Because I think it's Smoking Gun. They have the mugshot of her from 2005, and then they have a mugshot of her from 2008. And you can just see if we can all quote Rick James, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Seriously. Obviously, this chick is a crazy fucking, tweaking meth head because you always tell a meth head too, like over the course of years, because somehow they get more forehead. I don't know if it's from scratching their face, they're pulling the skin down more, or if it's just their hairline goes away. I can't figure out what it is about meth heads, but eventually they wind up with like a ton more forehead. And just holes in their face. And she looked terrible. What are you paying that $1,000 for? You pay that $1,000 to leave. I mean, that's obviously the old joke. You pay hookers to leave, like Charlie Sheen said. But I don't even pay her to show up. That was grim. There's got to be somebody better out there, right? It's Florida. There's hookers and strippers all over the joint. And plus, he's Vincent. He's Vince from fucking ShamWow. Go to hotel bar. I got to think, you know what? I think he really wanted to punch this chick. Like it was a whole thing that he cooked up. It wasn't just like hey, let's go to my room for a little back and forth, and then, I'll crush some Oreos for us. Would you like a sundae, my dear? I'm going to crush Oreos and nuts. Slap chop. But instead, he winds up bringing her to the room and then putting his tongue in her mouth, which I don't fucking get. It would be, he would have to talk me off a ledge to put my dick in a hooker, let alone my tongue. Although, you know what? I actually went down. I've negotiated with hookers a couple of times. Just because, it just seemed like the thing to do. It happened a couple of times. Once, I may have told this story. Did I tell this story about Dennis? Me, Dennis, and Pete, one time, when they came out to L.A., we pulled up. It's funny. I just crowed about how I've been listening to the shows and I know all the stuff, and I have no fucking idea if I told this story. Huh?
I don't think you told this.
We pulled up. We went to Beach Boulevard. Dennis and Pete came out here, and all of a sudden, for some reason, groupthink, we went, let's get a hooker. And this is a long time ago. This is the late '80s when that sort of thing was acceptable, folks. When I didn't have a wife, and none of us had wives or girlfriends, and we were all like, let's get a hooker. And the favorite, I don't even know, the planning stages on this were really bad because there's three dudes, like in a rented Taurus. I don't even know if the Taurus existed in the late '80s, but we were in one. I don't know if we invented it. We the guy from Back to the Future came through. It was like a DeLorean Taurus. We go to Beach Boulevard to get a hooker, and Dennis takes point, as he would, and he's going to negotiate for us. Now, here's what I mean about the planning and the logistics. We were trying to get a hooker. There's three of us, and I don't know if because again, Dennis, he pulls up to this hooker, and we pull up, and she's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Hey, how much for all three of us?" That's a sentence I never wanted to hear in my life. I mean, I don't even. It reminds me of the line in City Slickers where Daniel Stern says, "You know what? If it gets worse, real bad out here, I give you guys permission to eat me." And Billy Crystal goes, "Eat you? I don't even like talking to you on the phone." And that's how I felt in the car, because he's like, how much for all three of us? And I'm like, look, I don't even want to be in the same car driving around with you guys, let alone getting a fucking blowjob in front of you. How weird does the dynamic of your relationship change at that point? Say me, Dennis, and Peter in the car, and then say we get this girl into the car, and who goes first? Like, I mean, and to the other two guys, literally, do we just park and it's like a Chinese fire drill? Like one guy's in the back and he's getting a blowjob. And I mean, how quiet is that fucking blowjob, by the way? How completely silent is that blowjob? Because the two guys in the front seat, they don't want to hear anything. These are guys I went to high school with. Do they really want to hear me going, oh yeah, that's right, throw it. I mean, nobody wants to hear that. I mean, and which, by the way, you people don't want to hear that, but who cares? I dropped it in your fucking lap. But I can't even imagine like being in the car with two of my friends who I grew up with as I get a blowjob. It makes no sense. Why? We didn't even think this through. How quiet is that car? Just the two of them, like, I don't know, but like with the radio on playing tic-tac-toe. looking in the rearview mirror and just seeing hair bounce up and down and me smiling. Hey, oh, awful. And then when it's not your turn, like I said, everybody gets out. It's like a conga line. Doot, 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 doot. Everybody switches and gets back, and she's always back there. She never gets out. That would be awful. If it was like a blowjob conga line, she's in the back blowing me, and then I get out, and then she has to slide over. The guy in the driver's side gets in, and he gets a blowjob. But then, next time around, she gets out and gets in the front seat, and there's two dudes in the back. How does that work? That doesn't work at all. All right. So we did not plan this very well. But Dennis pulls up, sure enough. And he's like, how much for all three of us? Again, a sentence I don't know that I ever wanted to hear. And so she said it was going to be $75 each for blowjobs. And he's like, this is Dennis. I mean, she's like $75 each. And which, first of all, that's fucking brave. That this first she's gonna get in a car with three. Like at the time, we're 20. So, and the best part is like they're here on vacation. We have a photo from earlier in the day of us in 3D glasses seeing Captain EO at Disneyland. And then that night we're negotiating with a fucking hooker on Beach Boulevard. That's a good time, folks. That's a great vacation. So she says 75 each, which even in the late 80s, those are high prices, folks. So Dennis, there's no parlay. There's no real, Dennis just goes, how about 60 for all three of us? like the weirdest. And again, he did go to business school, so I mean, obviously he knows what to do. He's hoping to meet her in the middle, I would assume. And so she just goes, "Nah, I don't think so." She goes, "It's got to be at least 50 each." So he got her to come down. And then and so she came off of 75 each to 50 each. She actually lowered her price, and I can't even imagine how lonely and sad that must be as an existence, that you actually came off your blowjob price. How do you look yourself in the mirror later? How do you go and look in the mirror and go, yeah, I gave discount blowjobs tonight. That's awful. In a rented Taurus that doesn't even exist yet. She came down off of her original $75 offer, and when it's got to be at least 50 each. And Dennis, because now again we're negotiating here. So she opens up at 75 ahead, literally. He comes through with how about 60 for all three of us. So he wants all three of us to get done for less than the price of what she wanted for one. So she then comes back with, hey, you know what? How about $50 each? She said it's got to be at least $50 each. And he goes, and he says, fuck that, $60 for all of us. Like that's his. So now Dennis is hardlining it. Like I thought he was launching a salvo and then we were parlaying here, but instead he drops 60 again. He goes fuck that, $60 for all three of us. And meanwhile, Pete's behind the driver's. He's driving. Pete's behind the wheel, and I don't even know if he hears it. I don't know if he knows what's happening. Pete has just completely partitioned himself off from the rest of us. I'm in the backseat thinking, I can't. She's gonna blow me in the trunk because I am not gonna do this with these two guys in this car. And he goes, fuck that, $60 for all three of us. She goes, yeah. She's like, no, I don't think so. And she, by all rights, she should have told us to get fucked. But granted, she's in a profession where she could die at any moment. I mean, honestly, she isn't really in a position to trash talk us because she's alone on Beach Boulevard, and we're there in our souped-up Taurus ready for action. So we could do anything. The three of us could just throw her in the trunk and drive off to the beach. So that's what we did. That's what we did, and I'm coming clean about it now, folks. If you go to Newport Beach and you see there should be a mound of sand with a hat on it, and that is they went horribly awry, folks. No, so he goes, fuck that. How about $60 for all three of us? And she says, no, I don't think so. Like she even has to be nice about that. And he goes, fine, whore. We drive off. Fine, whore. Right in her face. And then Pete just floors. And she's like yelling at us, just like, fuck, you hear her just screaming. Fine, whore. What an asshole. But I don't know if it was, like, I don't know if we were, because it just came up. Like we were just driving around. Again, we have photos of us at Captain EO at Disneyland. And because we were there, we were like, hey, why don't we go to Beach Boulevard and see if we can get a hooker? Like that was like, our idea of another on the next ride that we were going to go on, I suppose. And but again, I don't think it was well thought out. I mean, if she comes through with it, I don't think she gets in the car and hums us all. I don't think that happens. I pray to God it doesn't happen. Uh, so and then we then this is because this is nothing if not a porn-filled vacation. They they're staying with me in Tustin. This is when I lived in Tustin. So then we wound up going to Hollywood, and we brought my older brother Lenny with us. So the four of us went to Hollywood, and Pete got drunk. Pete got so drunk that when we were on Hollywood Boulevard, we're crossing the street, and a car drove by, and Pete cross body blocked the car. Like it turned right onto Hollywood Boulevard, and he jumped and fucking he hit the fucking car. And then because again, we're just meatheads at that point. Honestly, I don't know how we didn't invent Ed Hardy clothing and affliction shirts, because we were just as bad as the douchebags who wear those fucking clothes now. The three of us walking around, and again, it's just mainly Pete and I are looking for trouble, and then Dennis is just, he's the leader of the gang. I mean, he's the mastermind who won't fight. You know what I mean? Like that guy, like he's the brains of the outfit. Because Dennis is like, he's a muscle guy, but he's like 5'1". He looks like he fucking stepped off a wedding cake. So I mean, he's the one instigating everything, and then he's the one who told me get him in the car. That's who he is. When we were at the Springsteen concert, and the guy threw air at our car, he went get him, and I ran out and got him. So that's who he is. He's the instigator guy. So we're walking around Hollywood, and then Pete cross body blocks a car, and the car stops, and we're like, yeah, get the fuck out. And Pete punches the trunk of the car, and the guy just drives off. And then we wind up at a strip club called The Cave, which actually still exists. It is down on Hollywood Boulevard, and it is literally a cave. We go in; it's an adult bookstore, and again, Pete's drunk, and my brother Lenny's drunk. And we go in there, and then it had a strip club. Like there was a girl who was going to strip, so we go sit down, and this woman walks out, and folks, literally it's like that. I mean, I felt bad for the hooker who got fine whore yelled in her face. This woman walks out, and she really looked, and I'm not even kidding, like a much heavier version of Lily Munster. Like this really, because Yvonne DiCarlo is a beautiful woman, okay, but this woman was Hispanic, kind of Hispanic. What does that even mean? She was kind of Hispanic, meaning she walked out holding a chimichanga. So that's all I needed. But she comes out and she's real heavy and wearing like a bustier but with a gut underneath it. Like she had a gun working too, which is not good. And she's got pin straight like black hair and like black lipstick and nail, just not attractive. But it didn't matter because again we're at the strip club yelling like we're just being fucking idiots. So then my brother gets the smart idea to, and completely independent of us. He doesn't know about our adventures on Beach Boulevard. He walks up to her when she comes off stage and he's like, hey, how much for all four of us? What? How does my brother even, with independent thought, come up with that? And now, as creepy as it would have been to me to get blown with my two high school friends, now my fucking older brother's involved? I mean, I told the story about him in South Dakota where I thought we it looked like there was going to be like a three-way or four-way with me, two guys and a stripper, and Lenny was one of them. And I'm like, fuck that. I can't do that. So even before that, there was, hey, how much for the four of us? And he's got her buttonholed. Like he's kind of holding her by the elbow and he's talking to her and he's like negotiating heavily. And I'm talking to Dennis. I'm like, we got to, what the fuck's going on? Where are we even going to do it? If she says yes, does this then go from innocent strip show to live sex show and we pull a train on this chick in front of everybody? Because I don't think I'm ready to fucking get on the tracks. So we're talking. Lenny's over there with the chick, and I realize we'd lost Pete. I got no idea where he is. But I do know that eventually I'm going to hear a loud noise, and then I'll be able to find Pete. So, sure enough, Lenny's negotiating with this chick, and we're in there, and then they come to chase Lenny away from the girl because he won't let her go. Like she's trying to go do stuff, and he's being adamant about fucking her for some reason. And I'm talking to Dennis, and then we hear like yelling, and then we go in the other room, and Pete is just opening up like doors, like Pete booth doors, and just like hey, like yelling at guys. So we go, look, let's get the fuck out of here. We got to go, and we split. And we go out to our car, and Pete's laughing. He just can't stop fucking laughing. And we're like, what the fuck? and he reaches into his pants, and he's got like 8 dirty magazines that he fucking stole from the place that he just jammed in his pants.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're like, dude. And the funniest part of it was there was a liquor store right by my house that we had already bought porn from. Like that was like one of those cellophane bags with like 3 different, with Players, Wii, and Jugs bullet wounds. You know what I mean? Like those magazines nobody's ever wants to fucking buy. And then he stole these magazines, and they were dirty. Again, back then porn was, it was Playboy, and then there was weird stuff from Sweden. You know what I mean? Like that. It was the stuff I found when I was 7 years old and I read to my friends. So he had one, and it was a magazine. And it was like something like Welcome to Cock Island. I mean, it was like the weirdest name. I can't remember the fucking name, but it was something like that. So so then that became the theme of the trip. Welcome to Cock Island. It was like, and we just going on and on. So then when they were packing to leave, I went in there and I just jammed all of the porn in Pete's suitcase. Like and it might have been Dennis's. I just put it in one of their suitcases. And then I got a phone call that night, and he just goes, "Welcome to Cock Island." Like he said it on the phone. They found the porn. I think at the airport, probably. No, that's a fun trick to play on people when they're going home. Sure, go ahead. So what the hell was I saying? I don't even know how I got into that story. Oh yeah. Okay. The and then the second time I wound up negotiating with a hooker was on my own, unfortunately, because I'd learned. Listen. I'd had a lot of technique that I'd learned from my friend Dennis. So I was in Chicago once when I was working at Zany's, and Zany's. The parking for Zany's was fucking horrible. I mean, it was like. We used to joke around about how my friend Sam, who's a comic, used to do a joke on stage in L.A. where he would say, "Yeah, the parking is brutal. I circled the block like 9 times, and then I finally just went to LAX and took a shuttle." I mean, it was so it was funny. In Zany's, it was kind of like that. You'd be driving around trying to park, and it was just a nightmare to park on Wells, Division and Wells. Is that where they were? I think so. And but you would park, and as you would park down, there was an adult bookstore that was right. It was like further, a few blocks away. But I'd always wind up having to park by that. Shockingly, I'd always wind up having to. I didn't want to. It just seems like the only open spaces were available at the adult bookstore, and there was parking there. So I was parking. So then one night I'm walking back after the late show on Saturday because there's 3 shows. And I'm walking back to my car, and you're running the gamut when you get down there. So it's the double, and there was a hooker. There was a few of them, but there was one who was and like when I'm saying hooker, I'm talking stereotypical, crazy big afro, leopard skin pants, pink bag, red tinsel wig, pretty much anything you could find in a box here in Lily's room. This chick was wearing. So, and she had a crazy. She had a big Get Christy Love afro. I mean, just like this, and just hot. And by hot, I mean like filthy, dirty street hooker hot. And so I see her, and she's just like, "Hey, you want to party?" And I think you folks know that I don't indulge in any drugs or anything like that. So I'm just like, but again, I'm a smart ass. So I go, "Party? What does that mean?" Because I'm very smooth, and believe me, there's nothing hookers like more than a guy who thinks he's smart or clever or funny. Because if there's one thing hookers understand, it's subtlety. This woman, she's wearing a push-up bra to where her tits are Mickey Mouse ears. So I don't think I'm going to charm her with any of my baffling bullshit that I'm about to spin out of my mouth. And I go, "Party? What does that mean?" And she's like, "Well, baby, do you want to party? You looking for a date?" And I'm like, "Party? Do I have to wear a hat?" Ha ha ha. It was a little condom joke I was making. Because again, I had just come from 3 shows, folks. I was walking on air. I had just crushed it at Zany's. And by crushed it, I mean I had emceed and been very mediocre. So I'm getting to my car. This chick's, and she's like, "Hey, you want to party? You want a date?" And I'm like, "Well, what are we talking here?" And she's like, "Well, come with me." And there was an alley. And I said, "Oh, we're going to go down there?" Again, I'm acting like I'm picking up a date. It's the stupidest thing. I don't know why, but again, I was trying to be all cute and clever, and because that happens, guys around girls. I can't just yell "fine whore" in somebody's face. I got to come around. No, I'm with Vince. I'm from ShamWow. I understand why you're kissing this chick then, because you're kind of like you're looking for that connection. Otherwise, you could just stick your dick in a ham. So, although you could kiss the ham too, I guess, if you want. Kiss the ham. Actually that was the fourth Muppet movie, if I remember correctly. The Muppets Take Chicago, Kiss the Ham. So I'm being all coy. I don't know why I'm being Errol Flynn with a hooker. It makes no fucking sense. Like I said, I'm Cary Grant from the Philadelphia Story. Being a raconteur, she doesn't fucking care. And she said, she's like, well, come with me. And then I was like, well, what are we talking here? She goes, well, it's $50. And she takes my hand, and we go walking down the alley. And it's funny. There's a song by a band Alcatraz, and it's a song called Painted Lover. And for some reason, this is what I was hearing. Like, I thought of the song in my head because the song says, City Tyke has a soft underbelly, transfixed by the heel clicks as he ducks down the alley. Because she's pulling me by the hand, and her feet are, she's wearing high heels, and they're clicking on the pavement. And she's holding my hand, and she's taking me in the alley. She says $50, and I hear the heels clicking, and then it dawns on me, dude, you're going into a dark alley with a fucking hooker in Chicago, like. Nothing good is about to happen here. What the fuck are you doing? This makes no sense. Because again, it was all cute on the street, a lot of ha ha ha. Well, I'm twirling my mustache and going, well, darling, I don't know what's going on with you. But then the next thing I'm going to and again, I don't know who's in the alley. I don't know if there could be 15 dudes back there with fucking saps. Because apparently she brought me down to 30s Prohibition Chicago. Apparently, she's taking me to the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1920. I don't know where she's bringing me that I think I'm going to get jumped by a bunch of angry Teamsters with fucking pipes. But I'm heading down again. It all flashes through my head at the last second. I'm like, all right, well, $50. Do you even have $50? Wait a minute, you're not even entertaining this thought, are you? And we're still walking down the alley. She's holding my hand, and then as we're getting down there, I'm thinking there's dudes, and then I get this thought in my head. I go, she got a pretty big hand. Because again, I have big hands, and my hand is she's holding my hand, and she's holding my hand. We're not holding hands. She's holding my hand and tugging me down the alley. And again, she's tall, and it's not just the heels. she's and in my head all of a sudden I'm like, dude, this is a dude. Even if it was a chick. I wasn't involved, but now that it's a dude, now I've got to. So I go, hey, hold on, where are we going? She goes, no, come on, it's $50. Come down here, and she's pulling my hand, and we're walking. And again, I'm very suave and I'm very smooth, and I finally, in my head, I just went, you know what? You have to take control of the situation. So she's pulling me by the hand, and I jerked my hand away and I ran. I ran like a child. I ran like a 5-year-old boy getting called to dinner. That was the panic. That was the plan I came up with. Again, because you don't think. It's how I got caught in the 3-card Monte game. It's like I'm in it, and I'm like, all right, this seems like it might be fun, and the next thing you know, I'm fucked. This was the same type of situation. I'm getting pulled down an alley, I'm in it, and then the next thing you know, I'm fucked. So rather than fall victim, I ran like a fucking girl, jerked my hand away and split, and heard my heel clicks transfixing someone down the alley. And then I run out and I turn the corner and I did it was like a crazy Belushi run. Like I wasn't even just like jogging. I fucking sprinted, and then I came out of the alley and I'm like on one foot, and I turned around to get to my car. And then as I get in the car and I'm like, whew, and I start my car, and then I think to myself, Jesus Christ, I hope nothing happens to her in that alley. Because there were 4 hookers who saw me get dragged down the alley with her. And then you just saw fat white guy sprinting for his life out of the alley and diving into his car. If they find her crumpled up in a heap, she's got my fingerprints are on her. It's just awful. I'm going down for this. So I guess my advice to you folks is don't hold hands with a hooker. Because you never know what's going to happen. But if you do wind up holding hands with a hooker, run. Take it from the super angry gaijin happy good time yelling hour. If you're holding hands with a hooker, run. Run right to Cock Island. Oh, welcome to Cock Island. I would name the episode that if I could, but I can't put that. I can't put cock in there. All right, maybe I'll do asterisks. Nah, I can't do that. I love porn names. I love all of the Edward Penis Hands, all those fucking ridiculous names. There was it's funny. I was talking to Max and I had forgotten about this. In the big bag of porn that my brother Glenn had when I was fishing in and pulling out the dog movie and then the film of my brother and his girlfriend. All right, it was an awful thing. Again, it was like Felix the Cat's bag, but filled with hate. I mean, it was just awful. But one of the things I pulled out of there was he had some German movie, and I remember it had a title card like one of those old '80s, where they put up in bright neon title cards, like basically turn on your cable access shows right now. If you go ahead and put on cable access to your house and see the opening credits and title card, think of that graphic style on this videotape, and it came up and it just said, "Anal Ladies World Record." And what happened was it was a woman and a guy's talking to her, and it's just this weird interview. And again, he's being very suave because he's me. It was me. And he's talking to this chick, and then he's like, "Are you ready?" She's like, "Yeah." So she takes her pants off, and then they pull out like a jar of lube, and I'm like, "All right, this isn't good. This is not going to be good." And they start again and then the best part is on the bottom, like it's scrolled by again like Anal Ladies World Record. And what it was then they went ahead and put a tube in her anal, like a hot water bottle, like they inserted it in her, and they like a balloon almost, and they started to fill it with champagne. And she's like on all fours, looking back, like kind of smiling, and she's got heels on and like a sparkly top, and they start filling this hot water bottle, and it just starts expanding and expanding and expanding, and then the title card comes up again, Anal Ladies World Record. And what they did was they basically filled the hot water bottle as I mean, it expanded her anal to the point where it looked like you could basically crawl in and take a nap. I mean, it was like the biggest expansion. It looked like you could put a basketball in there. I mean, it was not good. And they're just filling it with champagne, and she's smiling the whole time. And we're watching. We're just like, oh no, dude, seriously, this is happening. And then it came up again, the title card, and I went, Anal Ladies World Record, like the chef in Sesame Street who has like hot fudge sundaes and he falls down the stairs. So we start laughing, and then we just can't stop laughing because that's all we keep saying. It doesn't matter how horrible it is. They could have inserted a Wolverine into her ass. They could have done anything they wanted into her ass, and it wouldn't have mattered because all of us are fucking laughing and just going, Anal Ladies World Record. Oh. And like when he falls down the stairs and he's covered in like cheesecake. So there you go. That's my. I don't even know why I thought of the Anal Ladies World Record, but that's fun. All right, that's just meaningless. Not that any of this had any meaning whatsoever, but this was truly meaningless. So let me get back. I should tell you more about year one of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. If you haven't completely checked out at this point. If you want more of this magic, folks, if you want to get year one, it's available now on my website. And let me preface this by saying I've been told it will be available when this airs. So let's just say it's going to be available at some point Thursday or Friday, but I'm assuming for sure we should be locked down on Thursday. So when you hear this, go over to the store page on my website, and you'll be able to buy it through there. It's all 52 episodes of the 40-Year-Old Boy Year One, and it's a bonus package for $25, folks. That's a serious deal. $25 to go ahead and pick up this grouping, this package. Almost 65 hours of comedy. Well, almost 2 hours of comedy, and then 63 hours of a lot of yammering. But I can guarantee there's at least 2 solid hours of comedy in these 52 episodes. 65 is high. Let's do the math on this. There's 52. The first couple, I'm going to say there's 60. Let's do it that way. Hold on. I think I have red tinsel in my throat. Hold on. But there's yeah. So it's $25 for 52 episodes, which is probably over 60 hours of comedy, and that you can pay that, right? 25 for 60 hours. That's less than. I can't even do the math. That's less than $1 an hour of comedy, right? That's less than a quarter an hour of comedy, I think. I have no idea, folks. Again, whatever you wind up spending, and you know what I will throw in, folks, right now. If you go ahead and order now, anal ladies world record. That will not come. So I will tell you that the bonus package, what that includes is the show itself. And it's been repackaged because it's been remastered and re-edited, and I've been assured that the audio quality is uniform and wonderful. So that's my producer Lili and I, who I have to thank because she knows that the grindstone. She actually drove out. There was a superpower summit of 40-Year-Old Boy producers because she drove out to Riverside and met with Eric. How crazy must that have been?
It was awesome.
Did you meet Eric's wife?
Yes, I did. Lovely.
Did she ask about me?
Yes, she did.
I'm sure she did.
She said, "Is Mike still an ass?"
She said, how's Eric's hobby? Is he your hobby? So we had to have a superpower summit where she had to go out and get the first 8 episodes, and they've been remastered and cleaned up. And I will tell you that they've been repackaged with brand new artwork. And there will be brand new artwork for all the episodes, and also the new theme songs, which are involved here in year 2, are repackaged back into year 1, because I don't think Van Halen would be happy with me selling the episodes as is. I got to be honest. I don't think they'd be too thrilled about it. And besides, you want Mex's theme song anyway, don't you? That's much better. You want to get Mex's music on the beginning and the end. It's certainly much better. And Mex's artwork. And quite frankly, a lot of other things that are far too good for the show that they're involved in. I mean, it's just this artwork and this music that I don't deserve. I mean, I'm lucky enough to know this guy, I guess, and he's decided to be involved in some way. But Jesus Christ, this is honestly, the artwork and the music is worth $25. And anything that I contribute to it, fuck, who cares? I mean, I don't see any reason why. We should say that you're buying this artwork, this original artwork, and the music, and then you know what? I'll throw in over 60 hours of comedy. Go ahead and take that. That's the bonus for you. I will tell you this too, as a bonus, and this is going to be something that I would think is great, and I'm going to assume nobody else cares about, but I don't care. Also part of the bonus package, like I said, there's the new artwork. The theme songs have been reincorporated into the episodes, which have been remastered. And I will tell you that I have written liner notes for every single episode. And the liner notes will include the original title of that episode. They will include the original opening and closing music. And then my thoughts on that episode and what was going on at the time. And it's so funny. As I'm writing the liner notes, I have to listen back to the shows, and goddamn, the show was fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you folks, and I love me. I mean, you guys like me, all right? That's great, and I'm glad you keep coming back. I fucking love me, and it was worth having to write the liner notes just to go back and have to listen to the old episodes and hear stuff, and so in the actual liner notes, there's some of them are great, and I really get to kind of analyze the episode and look back at it and say some stuff. And then some of the liner notes are just like, I can't fucking believe I'm writing liner notes. So it's a crapshoot, folks. But there's 52 of them to choose from. And when you get them, what you do is you buy them through my website, and then we will send you a code for a download. I guess it's being done through You Send It. I don't know. I barely know my web address, but all of my team all of the people behind me are taking care of everything else, and so we would really love to have you by year one of the 40-year-old boy, because then it means that I'll be able to sell year two in 50 weeks. So God knows I'm excited about that. So go to my website and buy year one of the 40-year-old boy with its new artwork and the liner notes. Which what it will do is, I guess when you play it, you'll be able to pull up info, and you'll scroll through and you'll see what the artwork is, but also where is the in the lyrics section. In the lyrics section of as you play it in your iTunes, when you pull it up in the lyrics section, that's where the liner notes will be for every episode, and they're there for every episode. So again, those should be up today, Thursday. I hope. I haven't heard from my web guy. I don't know what's happening here. Again, folks, completely out of my hands. Please know my work is done. Anything that I needed to do to contribute to this, including talking into a microphone and writing the liner notes, is finished. Everybody else is the entire collective, the Mike Schmidt collective, the Mike Schmidt hive is going to work. So and also, you know what? For a bonus, folks, I'm going to throw in the clip show from December. Lily actually just pointed out, because we were talking before the show as I was writing the liner notes and getting it together, and holy God, is that clip show awful. It is so bad. I gotta whatever. So when you get it, you'll read the liner notes and see exactly how I felt. So go ahead and buy year one of the 40-year-old boy. That would be great. You get all 52 episodes, 60 episodes of comedy, $25. Enjoy it, and we hope you do it. Also, remember to go to my website and see the shirts. See our friend Lili von Stupp wearing the I'm going to eat pie out of your skull t-shirt, which is available. And you can also go to lookatmeshirts.com and buy a shirt through there. Again, it's $20 for small to extra large, $22 for a 2 extra large, and then $23 for a 3 extra large. So go ahead and get a skull pie t-shirt and listen to the buy the episodes, buy the shirt, and then just sit in your house and be happy you're not me. That's what you should do. Listen to the clip show, wear the shirt, and go, this guy's a dud. This guy is a dud. Okay, so you guys can get a hold of me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can get a hold of me at myspace.com/MikeSchmidtComedy. Remember to buy the shirts at, first of all, you can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You know what? Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com/podcast.asp to subscribe to this wonderful show. Don't forget to review the show in iTunes. That would be great if you would do that. I would appreciate it. Or just send me an email telling me it's great. We don't need to share that with the public. And also go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, go to the store page to purchase the year one of the 40-year-old boy for $25, 52 episodes, new artwork, new liner notes, all that. Also go to the store page and you'll see Lily, our friend Lili von Stupp here, who is posing in the t-shirt. The t-shirt also available for sale. I've already gone ahead and I've run down all of the prices. So I'm killing it at this point. So please go ahead. Also go to lookatmeshirts.com and you can buy the shirt through them if you want. And besides, if you go to my website and click buy, it's going to take you to Look at Me Shirts anyway. But you get to see bonus pictures of Lily on my site. So go do that. And don't forget to become my friend on Facebook, because I'm on Facebook now, and because that's great. And it's funny. I listen back to the old episodes, and there are episodes where I'm just like, Facebook, whatever. I'm not going to do Facebook. Cut to now, please, because somebody poke me immediately. I want to be friends on Facebook. Please help me. I'm a jerk. But you know what? What I hate is those people who, like, at least I know it. You know what I mean? Like, I know what happened. What I hate is those people who they revel in their ignorance. Like, there are people, you ever see an old man who's like, I don't own a cell phone. I don't know how to work a computer. Like Jerry Sloan, the coach of the Utah Jazz, comes to mind. I wouldn't know how to work a computer. I don't know what any of that twittering nonsense is. Well, then you're old and should be fucking killed. Just keep up. That's all we're asking is keep up. I'm not saying you got to be, Jerry Sloan doesn't need to have a fucking Facebook page where he's wearing like a crooked baseball cap and going, what up, homies? But just know how to fucking turn the thing on and just know what it is. Stay relevant. If you stop being relevant, don't you die? Doesn't that happen? If that's the case, I'd be dead. Who am I kidding? I'm not relevant. But I'm just saying, and also what's funny is there's all these celebrities twittering now, because that's who Twitter is for. Because I'm that guy, and that's me now. I'm gonna make fun of twittering. That's fucking ridiculous. And then in in year 3, I'm gonna be like, I'm on Twitter, folks. Everybody go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I'm eating applesauce. Is that how Twitter is? That's how it works. It's like a tweet or whatever. It should make that. It should make that noise. And now they get celebrities, like they go out and they Twitter and they send messages. And it's funny because Shaq, like Shaquille O'Neal and Paul Pierce, they send these Twitters or tweets or whatever the fuck you want to call them, and then there are people who are fake Twitterers. There was a guy, he was Twittering under the name of Rick Riley, who's a writer for for ESPN.com, and he was sending out ridiculous Twitters that made fun of his writing, and they were fucking hilarious because they were phony. What he did was he had spelled Riley just differently enough to where people were like, "Oh, maybe that's Rick Riley," and it was very funny. And then they shut him down, like they came after him and shut him down. But real people like Shaq and Paul Pierce, they're getting a lot of publicity because they're sending out Twitters, and like Shaq is like, "Hey, meet me at the Johnny Rockets, and I'll give you free tickets." And he legitimately, Shaq is at Johnny Rockets, and he will give you free tickets if you come up and talk to him, which is great. Until some devious motherfucker figures out to fake Shaq's Twitter and goes, "Hey, meet me for fake tickets in an alley somewhere," and fucking murders somebody. And I'm not advocating that type of behavior, folks. Believe me, I'm not saying that should happen. But I mean, let's be honest. It's going to fucking happen. That will happen. Someone will have like a fake Twitter and be like, "Hey, why don't you meet me in an alley?" And then they'll say $50, and then you'll run away to your car. That's what'll happen. So I guess I'm staying away from Twitter because it's like I don't know what's fake and I don't know what's real. I don't need to know what Ashton Kutcher had for fucking breakfast. Okay, I guess that's the point of this whole rant about Twitter and Jerry Sloan. How did Jerry Sloan even get involved with it? I have no idea. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a decent guy. Because I am a jerk. And I'm not a jerk. Man, I'm an awful guy. I'm not an awful guy. I am not a good guy. But I don't think I'm a bad person overall. So, and go ahead and by all means judge that. I'm kind of a jagoff. I got no future. What am I talking about? But I am a jagoff. And I'm not a jerk. I'm a nice guy. It's just I guess I have jerky tendencies. I've done so much ridiculous stuff, and then I wonder afterwards, I'm like, man, how come I don't hang out with anybody? Here's why, because you're a dick. You're finished. 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 You're finished.